Hi everybody, Donna Salazar here. Today I just wanted to share some playtime that I had in my studio the other day. I got some new Crafters Workshop stencils and I decided to pull them out and play with them for the very first time. They're all kind of bohemian-ish, kind of girly grungy, and I just wanted to share with you some of the stuff that I did with them. I didn't really make anything with the prints yet, but I am just going to share with you some of the prints that I came up with. All the stencils I'm using today are from the Crafters Workshop, but I'm going to use a whole bunch of different paints. This is Golden Open, and it gives you a nice transparent kind of a look to your paint. The first stencil is called Flower Tangle, and I just put it down over the paint and braid over it. And now I'm adding some Art Anthology paint. There are two different types that I like, and this is called Sorbet. It's not the color, it's the type of paint from Art Anthology. And I'm using my Splattered Circles Embossing folder from Spellbinders. And then everyone always asks me about the type of paper I use. It's Hammermill Color Copy Digital Paper. And it's really smooth and it gives really crisp, clean prints. So I'm taking the stencil off and I'm just kind of burring over it to get a very, very faint image of the stencil over on the right-hand side. And it's extremely faint. You can barely see it there. And I'm not going to clean off my plate. I like to have layers, and I also don't clean off the paper off to the side. I'm using Windsor and Newton acrylic paint, and this is a more opaque paint, and you can see you can't see through it. It's opaque. This stencil is called Alhambra, and I'm just going to brayer over it. And I'm using my Medallions embossing folder from Spellbinders. And I'm going to add the paper over the stencil. And that is what the print looked like. Now I'll remove it, and I'm adding the Mumsy stencil. And now I'm adding some Art Anthology velvet paint. And not every print that you do is going to be amazing. I'm using shelf liner to add a little bit more texture. And then I'll pull the print over the stencil. And it's okay. It's not fabulous. But it'll be cute if I die cut it or use a portion of it on something. And now I'm going to add Decoart Media Fluid Acrylic. And it's a very transparent, and it's, like it says, it's a fluid acrylic, but it's got a lot of pigment in it. And this print was a little bit better. I like that better than the first. And again, I'm not going to clean off my plate. And towards the end, like, I'm mixing all different types of paint with different textures and body to them. And this is Artist's Loft. It's a very inexpensive paint that you can buy at the big box store. And this is the Sweet Posey stencil. And I didn't add more paint, I'm just using what was there. And that's just a piece of leather. Anything that you can get texture with is free game in my studio. And I really liked that print. I thought that came out really neat. And this is what I really love to do. I have a strip across the top that when I put the paper down, this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, I get just a strip across the middle, and that is ideal for me to use on scrapbook layouts. And I really loved the way that this print turned out. And again, not cleaning the plate except for pickup prints like this. So I can get a little strip on the edge, and that'll be a really cool girly grunge layout. Now I'm adding some Pebeo Studio acrylic paint. And I'm going to layer 3 different stencils onto this plate. I'm going to start with the daisy chain in 12 by 12, the ring doily in 6 by 6, and Rosetta in 6 by 6. And I'm using Decoart Media Fluid Acrylics. And then my Medallion embossing folder from Spellbinders. And I don't want to waste that strip across the bottom, so I'll add an 8.5 by 11 across the bottom, and now I've got a strip for a layout later. And I love the way that this one turned out. Then I'll pull off the stencils, and this one's even better. I really love the way that this one turned out. That's just my happy place right there. And then I'll do one final print, and I'm using Golden Open again. And it does an amazing job to get all of that wonderful grunginess in the background. And I'm adding some Latch hook rug canvas mesh for a little bit of a grid texture. And that came out really cool. Very happy with it. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I can guarantee you, you're going to see a lot more of the Crafters Workshop stencils in my videos in the future. I'll see you again next time. Bye! I just wanted to can guarantee you will see blah, 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 blah. See a lot more of the crafters and blah 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 stencils blah. I blah 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 blah. What is wrong with me?